Hey there, Stampers, and thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to show you how to make this absolutely stunning card. This was made by my friend Lynsay Mahon. Recently, Lynsay and I were both challenged to make swap cards for a Stampin' Up! Event using 2 layers or less. And although this would seem really easy to do, it was actually a little challenging to come up with the designs. But the point was to make them simple and beautiful. This was my swap card, and this was Lynsay. Don't miss the video for this one on my blog. They're both gorgeous cards, and yet totally different and very simple. Today I'm going to show you how to make Lynsay's card, and I'll also show you how to make this fun matching envelope. Let's get started. The cool thing about this card is that it has a lot of depth because it looks like it has more layers than it actually has. We're going to make a faux layer by masking. So we'll start by showing you how to do that. My very vanilla piece is 5 inches by 3 3/4. All of the dimensions and all of these products are available at my blog at the link in this video description, and you can click right through to my online store to purchase these products. Now I cut my mask out of some scratch paper, but exactly the same measurements, 3 3/4 by 5. My goal is to cut out a 1-inch border frame. So I'm using the measurements on my paper cutter. I'm 1 inch from the side, and you'll see there's a measurement here. I'm going to start at the 1-inch mark and go down to the 4-inch mark. Then I'm going to turn my cardstock, start at the 1-inch mark. Now I'm on the 3 3/4 side, so I'm only going to go down 2 3/4. We wanted an inch from the edge. Turn again and go 1 to 4 inches. And our last cut is 1 to 2 3/4 again. And then we'll just pop out our middle. Very easy to do, very cool. You can reuse this mask for multiple projects. I'll layer the frame over our very vanilla. I'm working over some Stampin' Up! Grid paper here. I've got our rubber brayer and our old olive ink pad. And what I'm going to do is roll lift a few times in our ink pad to get some color out on that brayer. And then I'm going to start at the top, roll down right over the whole mask, and I'm going to do that a couple of times to get our color out. Now I'm just going to lift to show you what that did. Isn't that gorgeous? So cool. It looks like there's a green layer right on the card. But I'm going to put it right back down again because I want to spray a little shimmer over it while the mask is still on. I'm taking a Stampin' Up! Spritzer bottle. Love these little guys. And some rubbing alcohol. I just poured some rubbing alcohol right in there, straight up. And I'm taking some Champagne Mist shimmer paint. Shake that up real good. And I'm just pouring the equivalent of maybe 5 or 6 drops right in. Place the cover back on there. And you see the shimmer paint went right down to the bottom, so we want to shake that up real good too. And now we're going to spray on some sparkles. Just spritz that right over the top. The alcohol is what's going to make that dry real fast, but can you see the shimmer? Just gorgeous. Love that effect. It looks great on everything. Okay, so I've got a medium whisper white envelope. I'm just going to open it up here and put a piece of scratch paper over the bottom part of the envelope, so just the flap is showing. Just like we did on the card, I'm going to roll in our old olive ink pad, roll lift, so we've got some color out on our brayer. And the same thing, off the top of the envelope, roll right off the bottom. Several times. Roll out any lines we got going on there. You may need to re-ink it once. It depends on if you have the new Stampin' Up! Ink pads or the old Stampin' Up! Ink pads. Those new ones are awfully juicy. Okay, so we have our green envelope flap. Now our shimmer paint mist that we made is dry. Bring on the stamps. I'm using 2. We'll make a Thanksgiving card out of it. This is the French foliage for the leaves and Day of Gratitude just for the words. Gratitude can transform common days into Thanksgiving. Starting with some old olive. I'm going to stamp the little, it's almost like a little splatter stamp, right in the corner and intentionally a tiny bit off the edge. This really gives it dimension. And we'll randomly stamp that a couple of times in the green area. Again, I went off the edge intentionally in a couple of places. I'll go ahead and stamp it on our envelope as well. Next we have our basic black. I'm going to start with the words before the leaves. And I stamped the gratitude towards the bottom right so that the word gratitude was kind of right along the edge of our green border. And then I'm going to work with the leaves. Just kind of random, and again, intentionally stamping them a tiny bit off the edge. And I'm also going to stamp them a couple of times on our envelope. And our biggest leaf in the upper left-hand corner. And that one I also stamped so that it's kind of peeking over the front of our envelope. I just filled the envelope flap in with a couple of more stamps there. So fun. Then we're just going to layer that on some old olive and then a basic black card base. And she's completely gorgeous. And of course, don't forget when you have dark cardstock to layer a piece of Very Vanilla on the inside as well, so you can write your gradings in there. And we have got a fabulous matching envelope. Don't forget you can purchase all of the supplies we use today in my online store. Get there easily either via my channel homepage or get the supply list and direct links by clicking on the description below, and that will bring you right to this project's page on my blog. All the information right there. Thanks for joining me today.